Good afternoon, guys. By the way, I'm Albert Ken Madagas. I'm the one of reporter of Group 3. My topic is all about social learning theory. Before I start, guys, ipapakita ko po muna sa inyo yung cycle ng social learning theory. We have three types. Nandito po yung model behavior, unit person, and learning environment. So, what is this learning theory, guys? The social learning theory states that people learn from one another via observation, imitation, and modeling. It is often referred to as bridge behaviorist and cognitive learning theories because it encompasses attention, memory, and motivation. So, based on my understanding, guys, yung tao daw ay kayang matuto sa pamamagitan ng pagmamasid o pag-oobserba at sa pagmamodelo nito. And next, guys, this is Albert Bandura. The social learning theory was proposed by Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura believed that direct reinforcement could not account for all types of learning, and his theory added a social element, arguing that people can learn new information and behavior by watching other people, which is known as observation learning or modeling. So yun, guys, based on my understanding din dito, yung tao daw ay kayang matuto ng panibagong impormasyon at bagong pag-uugali sa pamamagitan ng panonood sa ibang tao by using observational learning or modeling. So yung bata, guys, sa loob ng kanilang bahay ay hindi siya tinuturuan ng masamang gawain, but pag sa tuwing lumalabas siya at nakikipag-socialize sa ibang bata ay may posibilidad na matutunan niya yung ibang pag-uugali o bagong impormasyon sa pamamagitan ng panonood sa ibang bata. And the next topic, guys, in about reciprocal determinism. Reciprocal determinism is a human action, is a result of an interaction among three variables: environment, behavior, and person. Although cognition can have a strong causal effect on both environment and behavior, it is not an autonomous entity independent of those two variables. Bandura uses this term reciprocal to indicate triadic interaction of forces. The three reciprocal factors do not need to the equal strength or no to make equal contribution. So, para mas malaman po natin kung ano talaga ang social learning theory, guys, ipapatuloy po ito ni J.M. Suarez Inco.
So, good evening. My name is Jenny Inco, and this is the continuation on the topic Social Learning Theory by Albert Bandura. So, according to Albert Bandura, that people learn behaviors through the observation of others, then impersonate what they have observed. So, in social learning theory, there are four meditational processes proposed by Bandura. First is attention. The extent to which you are exposed or notice the behavior. So, let's say for example, the teacher is a model, then the student is the observer. So, when the teacher pronounces a praise during the class, the student or the observer may pay attention to what the teacher said. So, that's attention. Next is retention. How well the behavior is remembered. So, the ability of the student or the observer is measured by how well is he or she process the information and tries to remember it. So, next is reproduction. This is the ability to perform the behavior that the model has just demonstrated. So, this is the time that the student or the observer imitate the praise that the teacher mentioned. Okay, so next is motivation. The will to perform the behavior. The rewards and punishment that follow a behavior will be considered by the observer. So, When the student pronounces the phrase correctly, he or she will be rewarded. And according to Bubudal experiment, that if the observer gets reward after impersonating the behavior, they will likely to imitate it. However, if there is punishment after impersonating the behavior, they will not imitate the behavior. So, that's it. Thank you.
So, good evening to all. Today, I'm going to report my topic that is all about the reciprocal determinism. So, first of all, what is reciprocal determinism? So reciprocal determinism is the theory set forth by the psychologist Albert Bandura, which states that a personal behavior both influences and it's influenced by personal factors and its social environment. So as we can see, there are three factors in reciprocal determinism model. So first is the behavior, second is the personal factors, then last is the environment. So next, in personal factors, they have composed of values, beliefs, goals, self-efficacy, expectations, and also the attributions. While in behaviors, actions, choices, statements, learning, and also the achievements. While in environmental factors, which is the reinforcement, instructions, feedback, other behaviors, and also the condition. So here is the example of the called behavior factors. So a child is acting out in school. The child doesn't like going to school. Therefore, they act out in class. Then second is the what we call personal factors. So this result in teachers and administrators of the school disliking having a child around. When confronted by the situation, so the child admits they hate schools and other peers don't like them. So because of that, please remember, personal factors is composed of values, beliefs, goals of efficacy, and expectation. So therefore, the personal factor of this is the child admits they hate school and other peers don't like them. So at the same time, also Bandura asserts that a person's behavior, both personal factors as a cognitive skills or attribute, can affect environment. So both personal factors and behaviors can also affect the environment, like the example of this. Um, a child is acting out in school, so therefore the child admits that they hate school and other parts of them. So aside of that, so sorry for the no. So as we can see, behavior can affect both personal factors and also the environmental factors. So that's it.
Hi everyone, I am Janmer Matilak and I am one of the reporters of Group 3.
Good day everyone. My name is Esrula Aimna from Group 3 and I am assigned to report about routine activity theory.
And I am reporting about the routine activities theory or the environmental theory. So it is more likely to become environmental theory because it describes how likely offenders come to commit crime partly based on their everyday lives or everyday activities. And this theory was first formulated by Lawrence E. Cohen and Marcus Fasson. So these two are the ones who is behind in the formulation of this theory. And also, routine activity theory suggests that the organization of routine activities in society create opportunities for crime. So when we say organizations, group of people that their routine activities are in line with the criminality. So it creates opportunities to others to become one of their doings or become one of the criminals. And also it can be used as a practical tool by crime reduction or prevention practitioners to analyze crime problems. So in this case, by understanding routine activity theory, we the practical tool, or we the crime reduction or prevention practitioners are more likely to know what could happen or what may happen in the future. So we could track the routine activities of a criminal in order to know what is her or his doings before after the criminality. So next, routine activity theory argues that when a crime occurs, three things happen at the same time and in the same space. So a suitable target is available, there is the lack of suitable guardian to prevent in crime from happening, and lastly, a likely and motivated offender is present. So first condition is the crime that is suitable target must be present. So without suitable target, the without suitable target, no crime can happen. So, and there's three major categories of a target, and they can be either a person, an object, or a place. So in a person, it is a being such as a human that has certain capabilities. So second, an object, anything that is visible and tangible, and a place where crime may happen, an area with a definite or indefinite boundary. So here are the examples.
Suitable target, because many families, the adults work, which means the home is often unoccupied during the day, and it become a suitable target for a burglary. Commercial buildings without access controls and security methods likewise can become a suitable target.
So second, absence of capable guardian. So this is the second condition whose presence would discourage a crime from taking place must be absent. So here are the examples. Police patrols. Without police patrols, the criminal rate may be higher. Security guards in the malls, convenience pawn shops, and neighborhood watch groups. So neighborhood watch groups, the one of the examples that is being given in the book is that the CCTV. So without the CCTVs, crime may happen. Without a proper installation of CCTVs, crime may also happen in that place. So CCTVs are also under the capable guardian. So here are the examples. And lastly, the likely offenders. The final element in this picture is that likely offender has been present. So likely offenders have many different reasons for committing crime and offenses. And we all know the first reason is the poverty. So when you are under the poverty, you will grind, you will find solutions in order to meet your basic needs. So the greed, living under the culture where crime is acceptable. So in this case, living under the culture where crime is very visible, where crime is being teach or being showed in others as a rebellion against authority, and a belief that crime in general or particular crimes aren't wrong. So they are same. They're almost the same in the living under the culture where crime is acceptable. So here are the examples. So that ends our discussion about the routine activity theory. So I hope you have take a knowledge about this theory. So thank you.
So the first one is the motivated offender. For example, an offender may routinely walk through a specific neighborhood looking for a house that appears to be an easy target for a burglary.
So that ends our discussion about the routine activity theory. So I hope you have taken knowledge about this theory. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Jessica Gonzalez and I am going to report my presentation about utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is a form of consequentialism. So this consequentialism is an ethical theory that judges if the action is right by what its consequences are. So in the language of utilitarians, we should choose the option that maximizes utility. So we got to choose the one that seeks to get the highest satisfaction from our economic decision. Utilitarians also appears to be a simple theory because it consists only one evaluative principle. Do what produces the best consequence. Whatever is being evaluated, we ought to choose the one that will produce the best overall result. So halimbawa is you are in a boat and then may nakita kang dalawang taong nalulunod doon sa kabilang area ng dagat and then may isa naman taong nalulunod doon sa kabilang area ng dagat. So, hindi mo sila pwedeng masalba ng sabay. Ang gagawin mo in evaluative principle, you should rescue the two people over the one person. Because in that situation, you are choosing the least pain or the most pleasure or most people in because it is the right decision.
Hi guys, my name is Margil Malbas from Group 3 and I am the second reporter of the topic all about utilitarianism. So, utilitarianism is an ethical theory which states that the best action is the one that maximizes utility. Or it is an ethical theory that determines right from wrong by focusing on outcomes. Simply means that as long as the result is better, no matter what you are about to do, either good or bad, that would not be the priority. So as what we can see in the picture as an example, the signalman will choose to switch the railway of the train where only one person has to suffer. So, kumbaga magsasakripisyo po dito yung isa para sa ikabubuti ng 5. Yun. Utility is defined in various ways, usually in terms of well-being of sentient entities. Utility of an action is the amount of happiness that the action causes to those who are affected by it, minus the amount of unhappiness with that action causes those who are affected by it. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang resulta ng isang action is para sa nakararami, yan po ang tinatawag na utility. There are four principles of utility. First, recognizes the fundamental rule of pain and pleasure in human life. Second, approves or disapproves of an action on the basis of the amount of pain or pleasure brought about consequences. Third, equates the good with the pleasurable and evil with pain. Lastly, asserts the pleasure and pain are capable of quantification and hence of measure. It claimed that the right action of morally good action is the results and emotion utility. The general goal here is to maximize happiness. The right action is the one that produces overall the most happiness minus the amount of pain. So, sinasabi dito na, kumbaga, kahit pumapatay ka pa ng tao, basta sa ikabubuti, tinatawag rin niya na right action. So, utilitarianism says that the supreme principle of morality is the principle of utility. So, yun na nga, para sa nakararami. The right action, what you are about to do, is the action that is in the accordance with the principles of utility. The principle of utility says, do whatever that maximizes utility. So, sabotable. Jeremy Bentham, the founder of utilitarianism, described utility as the sum of all pleasure that results from an action minus suffering of anyone involved in the action. So, sasabihin na lang natin na gagawin mong isang bagay para sa ikabubuti ng nakararami. Utilitarianism considers all interest equality. Its core idea is that whether actions are morally right or wrong depends on their effect. So, sabi ko nga kanina na ang utilitarianism is hindi po siya nakadefine kung ano ba tawag dito. Kahit na pumapatay ka pa ng tao, basta ang resulta nito ay para sa ikabubuti. Yun nga, it is a morally right rather. Jeremy Bentham was an English philosopher, jurist, and social reformer regarded as the founder of modern utilitarianism. Bentham defines as the fundamental axiom of his philosophy the principle that it is the greatest happiness of the greatest number that is the measure of right and wrong. John Stuart Mill, usually cited as J.S. Mill, was an English philosopher, political economist, and civil servant, one of the most influential thinkers in the history of classical liberalism. He contributed widely to social theory, political theory, and political economy. The classical utilitarians Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill identified the good with pleasure. So, like Epicurus were hedonist about value, they also held that we ought to maximize the good, that is, bring the greatest amount of good for the greatest number. So, yun lang po ang aking report at maraming salamat.